get us set up to head on over to the lab. There she is. And as some of you may have noted from her previous comment, she is going to at least be spending some of her stream playing a new game called Foundation. So Glen's going to take us through on that, and I'm really interested. I've watched a few of the early previews. I know when she was looking to live and watch the reviews, and it seems pretty darn cool. So let's see what happens there. So with that,
Ads are starting. Dylan will continue the conversation after the ads are over. Thank you for supporting the stream. There goes the channel. Fantastic Sherlock Fox just raided with 22 pairs of eyes.
Welcome on in, Raiders. Hello. So thank you very much, Fantastic Sherlock Fox, for bringing your crew on by. I am about as disorganized as usual. Although I will admit I'm probably about 15 minutes ahead of when I'm
Thank you
normally.
for 32 long months of subscribing, Fantastic Sherlock
So I'm just glancing
Fox.
over my shoulder. I have extra weird stuff all over the place because I was trying to get something else going as a test and didn't get it to work. But it's not critical. It's not related to this stream. We have very quickly. What? I don't know what that sound was for. Drop raid 40. No idea. Oh, start fight. Okay. That sounds to me then, since that didn't come up, like my. That's odd. My thing froze. Lovely. Actions. Running. No, it's not. Go figure. Either that or somehow I got that one turned off in this game. Should not have, but yeah, you never know what's happening. And always a tech issue around these parts. Are you going to play? Fresh. Oh, I don't know why that didn't work, Fox. Thank heavens you used the good command for it. Let me just kill my bot. Sorry, turn off the bot and boot it back up again. Alright, so as you can see right now on screen, we are going to be playing today with a game called Foundation. Now, I'm attempting, hopefully, to get Foundation to cooperate and actually go a little bit lower on the screen, but being a bit of a pill, because it keeps moving everything except what it should be. Yeah, that's not working. It's Foundation U. That'll work. Close enough. Okay, can I move it up now? Aha. Bingo. Close enough. Bingo. Close enough. Yes. Weird. Okay. So, we're here. We're live. I'm seeing all the people. Fine folks come in. And just moving the bot out of the way so I can say hello to everybody. Alright. So, we had lots of foofara. We got Fox, who says welcome to himself. I don't quite go that far, but close. Thank you for coming on in. Thank you, Jay. Good to see you as well. And hello, Neon. And there's one for Neon. First one in. And thank you. Good to see you, Metalhead. It feels really weird being his Fantastic Sherlock Fox's mod and switching straight on into me. I like the whole back-to-back thing in terms of convenience for us, but it is a bit of a strange feeling. Let's see, over here. Fox renewed his subscription at Tier 1. Yippee! It's one of those things when you think about it, it's the cheapest subscription you will ever pay. Because, of course, the funds come mostly right back into the house. Mostly. And I just say that because technically it's my play money, but there's things I spend it on that Fox, benefits from in the end, so it works out. It's all circular. And a good number of drops, which I forgot to join in. Oopsie, let me rectify that one. And I think that's everybody. Nice t-shirt. Yes, this t-shirt, I did not make it. It is courtesy of, let's see here. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if you guys can see this right in the corner. It says Big Con Industries. So yeah, this is a t-shirt courtesy of Big Clyde, and he sent it to us as part of our Fantastic Sherlock Foxes, I believe, the Secret Santa gift. So that was pretty cool. We each got a neato shirt, and I figured, well, what better time to wear it than the weekend? And it saves me from having to use the little "Who is" button 6,000 times. It says right there. If you get it wrong, it's right there. If I go forgetful, it's right there. It works. Okay, let's make sure we haven't missed anybody else. Yeah, you had a ton of fun doing the A-frame cabin. I was really watching that and really looking forward to it. It looks great. You got some good pieces put together, and some of the lighting came by. I like that part a lot. And at some point, I may have to go close another door, but we have discovered in our house, actually, that I'm in a basement room, so we have our forced air heating coming down from above. Natural gas-based forced air heating. And then the floor vents that are supposed to be the returns are near the floor. I guess I might have to dust them. They're not looking that dusty from here. But over time, I don't get enough circulation in the room, partly because the vents are above, so it doesn't really give a whole lot of circulation. So if I stay in too long with the door closed, eventually I can get myself a headache, and we're starting to wonder if it might be just too much CO2 buildup. So, yeah, we'll see. I haven't been in here all day, but just did want to chill out and make sure things were open for a little while. I was popping in and out trying to give Fantastic Sherlock Fox some assistance with his mic, and definitely the gain made a huge difference. We did not hear the Lego spilling on his desk, which is, he made a joke about it, but he didn't need to in the end, so it worked out well. All right, that's it of the foofra. Yes, you've got some junk in behind my head. That's not going to stay. That's a supporter pack thing. They're trying to get me to buy a one-off piece of scenery, I guess, for this game. Well, I just bought the game, so I don't need the ad yet. Plus, when I looked at it, I didn't really feel that there's a whole lot of value for the amount of dollar they wanted at this point. And you'll catch me grabbing a bunch of water from time to time. Fantastic Sherlock Fox has said, yes, there's a sinus bug going around that in some cases is combined with a gastrointestinal bug. I seem to have avoided the gastro side of it, but the sinus bit does give me a bit of a raspy, dry throat at times. I think I've just inherited my grandmother's postnasal drip. So every once in a while, I don't always have a coughing fit like he will, but I will need to pause and have some hydrates and stuff. The other side effect, though, and I will be upfront about this, by having ADHD, I can get hyper-focused in the game and forget to hydrate. So this is where I'm going to need your help. I know I've had my hydrate command for a while, and I've switched over, so it's actually referring to you guys, not me. But I think we will need to keep on top of having reminders. I have not turned off a lot of my Minecraft-related redeems just because I didn't remember and wasn't organized. So if I can't find the key ones really quickly, then we'll just have to put up with it, and I'll try and have one of my mods and or myself catch it to bounce any of the ones that are incorrectly used. That said, for those of you with an eagle eye in the left-hand corner here, and it says continue, there's a world already started in Foundation called Testland. I have actually not fired up this version of it, but I was playing the demo, and I assumed that when I uninstalled the demo first, I didn't do a whole restart and everything else, but did that rather than just upgrade and then installed the new game, that it wouldn't be aware that Testland existed. But I guess, yeah, cloud service and all, it certainly is. The music I am playing, although it's fantasy-type music, and this is a medieval-themed game, so it works, very fantasy medieval, the music itself is actually from Epidemic Sound's fantasy playlist they have. I'm playing it through Epidemics, or through Spotify right now because it's, as we've talked about before, it seems to be a little bit lighter on my system resources. Just before I hop into this last piece, we're going to mention, well, 2 more pieces, because I'll get to what I was going to say. The other piece is I've shut off the music in-game, of course, once again, just covering my bases for copyright reasons. But, whoops, I forgot one of the 2 pieces. If I remember it, I'll come back to it. But the piece from you guys is in-game, as we go. I thought, for my own amusement, I guess you could say, I'm planning to make use of a feature where we can custom name the villagers in-game. Now, this is not, I'm intending to make it named after you guys. So they will come up with auto-generated names, and I'll just grab a villager and change it up to be somebody else's name. If I pick your name, and you don't want that to happen, let me know in chat, and I will take it out. We'll change it either to someone else or to take it out altogether. I know it's risky, and it could come back to bite me, but it's one of those things that makes the game fun for me. Yeah, and the choices of class in terms of peasant or commoner or so on and so forth up the chain will be in no way connected to any comments or thoughts or whatever that I may have about a particular person. So if we name it after, I don't know, let's pick somebody here. If I hypothetically named one Mr. Beast, I'd never connected with his stuff. If I hypothetically named it after them, then it wouldn't matter if this person stayed a peasant their entire life. That's not a commentary, nor does it have any reflection on what the person's occupation will be. So in other words, we could have somebody who in-game ends up being a baker, and in real life we find out that, you know, they don't include cheese in their grilled cheese sandwiches. It's not relevant who is got what name. So I'm putting that out verbally right now, so that if you get picked for one and you don't think it fits you, or you think there's a reason that what has happened doesn't quite work, let me know. But it's just one of those things that's going to happen to amuse me. Last piece, this is where I was going. Art style. You guys have seen me try to play Manor Lords. It's fairly realistic-ish.
Hello.
I didn't call her out. You called her out, Zerk. Not me. So not quite sure what Metalhead's on about, so I'm going to hope for more explanation there. But art style. Okay, this is the cover. You will find as we get in that while the art in this one is very much Manor Lords meets Tiny Glade. So if you've seen Tiny Glade, the very cozy, build-it-yourself, sort of goofy, medieval-esque building system, it's very much like that, and I'll point out as we go where it is. So it's a little bit more cartoony, but the other side of it, though, is like Manor Lords. It is, you know, medieval town building and so on. I don't know how it's going to be in terms of weight on my machine while we try and stream. Manor Lords actually crashes when I get too far into it, if I'm streaming at the same time, and sometimes I still end up with frame rates and lag. So those are the big differences. In the game, we do not actually get what's the word? Actual combat. So you can set up your army, you tell them to go off and fight, they go do their thing, and then they come back. You don't actually see it. Oh, no cheese in the grilled cheese. Yes. Got it. So, yeah, that's what it all boils down to in the end. So when we first start off these games, I've played, as I said, I played through a good bit of the demo and bumped my nose on it. So that's when I bought the full game. Other than that, this is the first time I fired up the full game. So we have, when I played the demo, they only allowed us the hills maps. But this time I think I'm going to go with a fluvial map because we've got rivers to work with rather than massive lakes. I like lakes, but they're kind of in the way. Let's see, what can we do? We can either customize the pieces, we can randomize the seed in general, or we can undo, you know, all the changes. The coastal side here, it's great, but it's quite literally coastlines, which I found I had lots of beach in the hills one I had before, and very, very big hills, and I didn't like that, so we're going to go with something more river-esque. But let's see if we can just randomize all the settings and see. Sure, let's go with that. You know, depending on how hilly these hills are, that might not be too bad. The big key is I'm going to need a place that lets people fish. This is the way the whole map would be. So we've got a lake, which they could fish in potentially, and then big place to grow. So I think I like this one. Hey there, Fleming Fox. How are you? Nah, things happen. Things happen. Okay, let's try this one more time. Does my magic button work this time? Let's try that. Hey, it works. Woo! It works. Yay! You're gonna have to run its past your bed, and that's fine, Jay. I totally appreciate the fact that you dropped by and saw either of us today. Yeah, it is like 20 to 1 in the morning, I think. I forgot to fix my camera or my time zone thing, so my time zone for my buddies actually is still wrong, and it thinks that Jay and the Naders, Aim Nader and so forth, are in the exact same time slot, even though they're on different sides of the planet. Technically, they're an hour off, but like almost AM, PM switch. It's really kind of confusing right now. What have we got? Actually, weirdly, yeah, because of the date line, their whole day ahead, 1 hour difference. That's kind of weird. Good to know. That is kind of weird. Huh, okay. I learned something. That is cool. Oh yes, I forgot. Flaming Fox has not had the opportunity to meet Oswin. So I've named my bot Oswin for a while. It used to be Butter Oswin. And he's named after a monk in the Brother Cadfael series, sort of a thing that we started last year, I guess? Wow, he's more than a year old. Interesting. But he's also got a ChatGPT background to him. So over the course of the conversations, some of the stuff you guys say will get sent to quietly to ChatGPT. They do not record anything nor track any names and all that jazz. So that background also allows me when doing shoutouts to have it go and base partly off of the little who is descriptor thing you guys give, and then whatever the last go live messages that Twitch has listed for you, as well as the title and content of your last stream. So it gets a little bit silly with some of them. And I love Oswin with that. I have another thought I might... So if Oswin changes in the next month or so, I'm looking at investigating Tangia, just to see how that goes. But at the moment, this Oswin is not Tangia related or other services like that. Oswin and this yellow do not always see eye to eye. Okay, so I like this game. Let's get going. Last piece, just before I leave this screen. Bottom left, you guys can't see it. I may have to change my resolution for you guys, because this is actually great for me, terrible for you. So, I can change it once I'm in-game. But this bit down here I'm trying to highlight, you'll see the orange if you're on. If you're on mobile, there's no hope for you to read that right now. But what it means is, in theory, it's a map code that if I was having someone, say, for example, play along, or they wanted to play on the same map I wanted to, they wouldn't be able to play with me, but they could play on the same one. Then I could actually copy it to clipboard or paste it from somebody else's from another clipboard, and then share, so we could be simultaneously playing on the same map, which is kind of neat because in Minecraft, it's the same sort of thing as sharing your seed. So for practical purposes, this is all the map seed with the settings. Okay, so next, jumping in. For those who are familiar with the fact that I use streamer.bot, I just want to be very clear about one thing. I know how to, quote-unquote, speak most of the C# code, as in I can follow what's wrong with some of it. But as Zerk and a few others in stream know, I don't code in C#. Streamer.bot has an awful lot of commands and things that you can build out of various pieces and steps that require zero coding required. Zero. But they've built it so that in C# in the background, you can code it to pretty much do whatever the fripp you want. And so there are lots of places where people have pre-built stuff, and they posted it on an extension wiki website for people to copy and use their work. So there's a lot of chunks, and portions of Oswin being some of that, that I've plucked from the wiki and plugged in. But there's also some that I've built myself. and some have a lot of self-built sort of commands using the commands pieces built into StreamerBot that you don't need code for. And then I will have had a small chunk of that written to do something custom. There's a couple places where you can ask for it, saying, I don't know how to use whatever it is. I'm not quite sure what that is, Flaming Fox, because it blocked it. But I would definitely be curious to hear more about that afterwards. I think it blocked it because it thinks it's a link. So, yeah. Not entirely sure why it's doing that, but anyhow. The long and the short being that, so for people who are very scared of StreamerBot, 2 pieces to say. 1, you don't need to know code to make it do things. And 2, there are a lot of pieces you can borrow from their wiki. That's what it's there for, to be able to plug things in to your bot and make it do a lot of basic stuff. Number 3, there are great services. One I can think of as StreamUp is a good one that are building things that work well on StreamerBot. And more importantly, 4, if you ever are on their Discord and you say, okay, I'm trying to do this thing, I want it to do X, Y, Z and behave in a certain way. I'm not really sure what I've got going wrong because here's how it behaves now. And people will help you. Or if you get sort of 95% of the way there and it can't actually do that last 5%, there's usually at least 2 or 3 people who will volunteer and say, okay, I'll write you that little tiny piece. Here you go for free. It's great. So the point is there's a ton of stuff you can do with it that is not requiring code. So people who don't code don't have to be scared of it. It's not the be-all and end-all, but some of the other ones out there, for example, at the time, Firebot, for example, or Stream Elements, or Nightbot, or whatever, who do the chat type things, and even in some cases Triggerfire, just didn't at the time have available the ability to do quite what I wanted. So that's where I started looking at this one. Okay, blah, 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 I'm done. No, that's not your bad, no worries. I'm just curious. I'd love to know what other people use. So let's get back into the game because I've already blown nearly 20 minutes. So yeah, let's roll. So this one is when we can set up our own rules. By default, it says classic. Play it as intended, perfect for your first playthrough. This is where I'm going to go to start. For my own interest later on, I'll probably pick up a casual game, but I don't think we're ready for a challenge game. And creative, really, it's like having unlimited money when you play a lot of the other city builder games. Yeah. Oh, I see. Got it. Now I know why it blocked it. Yeah, streamer.bot. So, I blanked. There we go. Let's just try a classic game. I'm just going to make sure. I'm going to leave the tutorial on because this is my first game through, and the game itself is less than a month old. So, for those of you that are familiar with it, sorry, hang on to your hats. We're going through it the old-fashioned way. For those that are not familiar with it, it's useful for me and for other new people. So I'm not going to customize a lot of these rules. There was one that I was going to swap over, and I can't find it at the moment, so maybe it's not an issue and I was already in the state I want when I play. Okay, so let's just jump. So selecting aspiration. Yeah, I needed something other than Minecraft. I'm not Minecrafted out. I'm normally a Minecraft player, but I just finished a hardcore yesterday with Minecraft, and I didn't make it. I bit the biscuit while fighting the dragon, though, but I've been really close to the end. Anyway, and then I'm kind of vanillaed out for now, so my other Minecraft right now is a modded world that I've tweaked a little bit further for my taste because I needed something chill for a while. So I needed, okay, let's go something else. Monday is Mix and Match Mondays for us. So for, yeah, I guess Tuesday for Flaming Fox. Datelines, gotta love them. Is my Mix and Match day where I'm doing Lego builds and or something else. I was doing Minecraft Bingo for a while, and then the start of the modded thing, dropping that. So this Monday will be Lego. I just didn't feel if Fox was doing Lego that I wanted to do Lego today. And so Monday we have working on the Harry Potter themed Shrieking Shack set We did some of the decoration for it, and I've got the moon for it, but, pardon me. And now we're on to starting the actual shack itself. You've been playing Cat Cafe. I've also bought Dog Rescue, so I'd love to go through those. You know, another one, okay, I'll talk in a second. I'm going to come back to that. Otherwise, I'll be like Fox and we'll never get far. Okay, so let's start with the relax and play on my own. It's good for the first playthrough, but I'm leaning at some point towards this Priory thing. I think it's kind of fun. Prestigious Burg for Paxation. Mighty Stronghold. Monastery and Let's go with the relax and play on our own for the very first playthrough. Because the way the demo was limiting enough, we couldn't do these other three. So, and then there's limitations that just never let me get far enough to find out. You're welcome to be yappy. See, the bright part about you being yappy, or anyone else being yappy, is that I don't have to worry about having speaking notes, which actually quite surprised me that Fantastic Sherlock Fox did. I understand it's good to have seed things, but you guys can tell I've been all over the place, so don't really need it. So here's where we get to name everything. And one thing with the villages, I insist, I mean, they let you randomize names, but yes, it needs to be pronounceable. Yes. To say pronounceable and pronunciation and stick them in the same word gets me pronounceable, which makes no sense at all. All right. So, as far as games go, you might get a kick out of Little Kitty Big City if you haven't tried that one already. We played a bit of that on stream, and it was fun. It was fun. Silly, but fun. Okay, so we've got a Heraldry Shield. I will say this color set is disgusting. Sorry. The blue is neat. I don't mind the background. That's fine. I mean, it looks a little beat up, but and I like the foxes. Just this blue with the foxes on this background doesn't work. So, what I'm gonna do is, which Little Kitty Big City is actually quite cozy, and there is no danger stuff to it. Quite literally, the kitty cat unfortunately fell out of the window of their apartment onto the ground, and they don't know how to get back. They don't even really know where their apartment is. But besides that, it's just little things, like you start talking to various animals. There's different spots where you can like push a soccer ball in. Yeah. It's, oh, I think I know which one you're talking about. No, not that one. Let's see. Where is my chat screen? I think I know which one you're referring to. There's another one where there's a white cat in like a very dark, almost like a New York type of city, and this is definitely not that one. Cat video games. Sorry, I just brought up the browser for a second because this is going to drive me crazy if I don't deal with it right now. Well, yes, but you don't have to be there. Cat games. Which is the one I'm thinking of? You're probably thinking of Stray. So Stray is the one, it's kind of, yeah, okay. Let's see, open. Okay, so I'm just going to show you really quickly this desktop shot. Let's minimize the double actually, you'll see what I see, whatever. Okay, display capture. Boom. Okay, so, yes, sorry for the extra chit-chat. Text will be gone. So, this Stray one here, this one is actually a lot darker. It's more of a, how to put it? Yeah, it's definitely a much darker thing. The one I was referring to is actually Cozy. And you play as a cat, and quite literally, the art is very much like that. You're talking to another animal. You are, like you're wandering around with a piece of bread that you've taken from something, and you're going to try and bait the birds. Yeah, so I looked at the demo of Stray. It's definitely not my cup of tea. I like the cozy game, but I really do say you would probably enjoy Little Kitty Big City. So, whoa, oops, that went nuts. It's not quite what I wanted. But you get the point. Like, it's, Little Kitty Big City is definitely a fun one in that one. And it's light. It's very, very light. Yeah. Actually, funny part is on that whole front about wish lists and yada yada and so on. Did I? Oh, oops. I'm opening screens I didn't even realize I had open. Okay, close that, close this, close that. Okay, good. Close the browser. I love Steam. For a long time I was exclusively a Steam player, but what happened with that was that I found that there was a couple games that weren't on Steam that I wanted to play. So far, so good. No big deal. Let's put this. The foxes to me look a little bit more like something that would be more Fantastic Sherlock Fox themed, which is great. But if we have a bird... Ah, there we go. And I just need one. Sorry, my brain thinks Potter like every turn. Okay, fine. I will be a putz then. Sure, I'll do that. Haha. This can be the bronze. This can be the blue. Close enough? Sure. Let's see, let's change the top. I'm looking at a banner I've got on my wall. That's like a cheap, bought Harry Potter themed one at the time. I think... Let's go with the curved one because we can. A bit more pointy? Sure. Why not? We can always change it up later. Alright, so, and I just looked at me as I looked at the name here. And it's like, okay, R-A-V-N... So it's actually Ravenfjell, which is fine, but I think I need to actually put an E in here. It's going to bug me if I don't. Ravenfjell, but I can leave it like that. My name and title, heavens no. We don't have a choice for title at the moment because we only have Pioneer to begin with, but of course it's got to be me. All right. So, but I've stuck with Steam for a long time, and then I found ones that weren't there, but they were on, what do you call it, Xbox, like the Xbox PC thing. So I got into the PC Game Pass, and now I've got stuff that's on, could be on both, so I'm forever marking it in one platform as being currently played on the other. And so Little Kitty became an experiment because I was already paying for the Game Pass, and it was there. Okay, so this one, we need to... I'll read this bit, then I'm going to get into the graphics change, because then we can see what's going on. Oh, hey, it lets me now. Yay! Okay, video. On the right screen, let's change. Let's try this one. Well, aside from the fact that it doesn't like my full screen, fine. That's fine. Be that way. Be that way, you silly thing. Bit? Sure. Good enough. I have... Oh, that's bad. Okay. 5. So I'm just checking a couple of my different... Aha! Okay. Let's cross my fingers. Yeah, we're going to try something a little different. Instead of that, let's block this one. I'm just going to temporarily make a separate scene for this one, and we'll see how it goes. Not there. How far down does this have to go? Face cam. Oh, I need the face cam. Okay, so it's got to be that far down. Yes. What I'm basically doing is I am attempting to... Today's scene is not going to be regular. It will be stolen Lego scene. Huzzah. Okay. I think that works a bit better for you guys. It doesn't want to let me full screen now, because if I do that, then it doesn't let my mouse out. Let's see. Will it? Will it? Run. Oh! Whoops. Aha! Okay, so if I click away... Hey, this game does let me. Okay, good. We're good. I'm happy. So let's change this one more time. 16 by 9. What else have we got? What does this do to you guys? Trying to see. Oh. My screen went way wonky on my end. Okay, that's not quite what I meant. But hey, sometimes you can't win. Come back here. Sure, I'm going to pretend that worked. Alright, so let's go with this. Technically, you guys are getting weird stuff, but it's better than kicking the pants. Ugh. My screen, actually, this looks terrible, but that's okay. We'll go with it. It's just that it doesn't have a very nice interface. That's the problem. Go big again, and sorry, apologies to everybody. Where? Uh-oh, my OBS went somewhere. Where did it go? I should know better. I should really know better. Foundation, go away for a sec. Okay. So yeah, that was not a good plan. Okay, well, we learn. We live, we learn. Right? Right. Okay, where did my OBS go? See, by all this graphics size changing, I messed up my entire computer layout because now... Yeah, there we go. OBS jumped monitors on me. Do not let your OBS do that. It'll confuse the heck out of yourself for hours. Okay. Are we back? We're back. Close enough. I gotta be back on Lego. Oh. So, where did I put that one? I don't know. Okay. I can handle this. We'll go with that. It'll work. So, I'm going to stop fussing, and we'll just get into it. Graphics quality, audio controls, disabled. What I really wish it would let us do is maximize the window at whatever resolution, and then we can change the user interface side, but it's not. So, scale user interface. And I'm feeling such a dope because I just saw that. Oh, okay. Much better. Okay, we'll go with that. Things are huge, but I'm going with it. Still need Lego. Still need... Come on. What's it called? What's it called? There we go. Listing this one. You'll see just for a second. That's going to go all the way down to the bottom. Come on. Better. Sort of. I'm pretending it's better. We'll go with it. So, games. This one. Come down. As soon as I'm happy, then I will get into things. Sometimes my ADHD is a curse, I swear. Because it gives me just enough of wannabe OCD-ness. Okay, fine. Good. Okay. Perfect. We're back. Save. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so what it's talking about is after a long journey throughout the realm. Oops. And I heard a bing. This bing. I may have to change my screen, but that's okay. Settings. On. Chat. Roll. There we go. Save. You guys don't need to worry about that. That's fine. Ding, 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 and all that. Alright, so after a long journey through the realm, your people finally reach new lands. Our lands. Territories we can settle for reasons of our own. Villagers want us... Wait, command eager to offer advice how to proceed. So, we're going to let it do its thing. It tells you all about the corners, fine. And then how to pan, you know, this way, that way. So, fine. Okay, we get the camera. Thanks, buddy. Zoom in and out. Okay, let's move that. So what we're looking for is... Oh, come on. There, enjoy. So it's just moving all the camera around. I want... There! This is the bit I want. So we need to pick a territory to see where we want to start first. And I want one that has lots of various different resources. Cliffs are great for defensibility, but we don't have to worry about that a whole lot in this game. So I want one where I've got a little bit of everything to start. I think right in here is very square. We'll be able to open it up. A lot of the early territories, like they'll only let you see the ones that you can actually use to start. So if it doesn't have everything you need to start, it won't even let you pick it, but you can grow to it later. This one's not bad, but it's an awful lot of water. And when we want early territory for places to build, that's not great. This is the real world edge, not real, the final hard edge. I wish I could zoom out more. This, oh, it does let me map. Sweet, I can purchase various territories. Okay. You paid for an app to remember. Ooh, I missed something there. What? Okay, backing it up. Oh, Osmond. Okay, I'll let him, it, thing, whatever, carry on. Okay, let's go with everything we can start. So that's a lot of water, technically. That's by water, but it's no water. That one's by water, but no water. Not really. We've got great build zones there, but not a whole lot of options. Okay, so a lot of these are by water with no water included. I think I like this one down here. Let's go with that. So your first one is free, and there's no upkeep on it. Beyond that, you start getting, so things are going to build. Action module, so they're telling us about the bottom of the screen. Yippee skippy. You guys have seen that, you know? Build stuff. Map. It'll tell us about all the stuff as we go through it. So we need to build ourselves a village center. And we need to build it, in the center. So where is our territory? Map. Hello? Is it down here somewhere? Okay, so where am I? Farther down this way? Oh, with relation to the... Okay, there's the lake, so I'm quite a ways down. Where it gets bright again. Oh, I see why I'm not understanding it. My orientation got messed up. That would do it. So it's in here, which means we can build our village center. There's the map. Yes, thankfully. Now the village center can be moved in spite of what some of the other people on the internet say. Plant chat. Woo! That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I'm actually intentionally going to change our orientation just so I can see better past the trees. And I'm going to quite literally stick the village center in the center. Now, unlike a lot of these similar games, we don't need to worry about where the roads are. Because in this one, they sort of organically build themselves. So what this means is that as you start building and playing, the world kind of creates its own roads. Toggle the building part snapping. Oh, excellent. Didn't know you could do that. Interior access, left click to select a part, blah, blah, blah. Right click to delete, hold. Okay, so I'm going to mess this up, I'm sure, and we'll have to come back to it a million times. So now that we've got the place picked where we want this center to be, you can sort of see that it's ghosted itself in there. I'm going to click build, and it pays for it right out of our funding. So we had 500 to start, and now we're down to 450. So villager wants to speak with me. Yay. Found the hamlet of Ravenfjell. Yay. So now we can click on this, and it says it wants us to... second piece of advice comes from an enterprising villager, and she suggests everybody gets organized into laborers for appropriate workplaces, builders into workshops, woodcutters into lumber camps, yada, yada, yada. Let's put this advice to practice. So now what it does is it puts, in essence, like a quest down in the bottom left, which just keeps updating as you go. And you can get a whole bunch of these stacked. And unfortunately, they don't disappear until you get the thing done. And I didn't pay attention to what they said, but for example, here, if I was to click on this gal, see, I could name her somebody else different. And you can see that we've got some very crazy looking guys. And graphics are a little sus right now, or not graphics, wow. Frame rates are a little sus, that's what I'm trying to say. But not a ton I can do about that while streaming. So, they want us to build a builder's workshop. Gee, that's such a difficult concept. So, I'm going to take another look at more of our borders here. Now, the builder's workshop, we can move it at a different time. Oops, that's my camera switch. But I think, you know, for the time being, I'll put it over here. It can create itself a road. Oh, whoops, wrong button. See, I told you I wouldn't pay attention to the instructions. Okay, let's go this way. And I think it's control. Nope. What did I do with it? Well, I picked. You know, if it helps if I actually hit the left button, not the right button. There. Now that I can zoom in, I'll just use the on-screen piece rather than remembering what it was supposed to do. So we can rotate it around a little bit so that it's somewhat parallel to the water, which is sort of what I wanted. There we go. And I kind of like where it is, so I'm just going to go ahead. Now, before we hit go, you can see on the edge here, there's a little white arrow. This white arrow will be an entrance, exit, etc., how the villagers access the building. So I do want to keep in mind where these little white arrows are going, so they actually don't end up into the side of a rock or into another building, so you can't actually do anything with them. Oval hash browns. Is that a brand, or is that a... are we talking like crowns or coins? Okay, so now we have Builder's Workshop completed, and it wants us to... Why am I not hearing the game? Oh, I am, just not as loud as everything else. Okay, never mind. Talking... Okay, so they want me to assign workers to it, which is easy enough. You just click this thing, and you can either pick a specific worker, or right now if we just click assign, it's the nearest available one. So this one happens to be Batistina. And because they don't have any other jobs to go to right now, I'll assign other available villagers. I can give them new jobs later. And they'll just hang around doing absolutely nothing if there isn't work for them to do. But now we want a new lumber camp and assign a woodcutter. So we're going to build ourselves a lumber camp. Now you can see on the edge there's those two white arrows. So we need to be conscious of where these things end up. Oh, yeah. Where Flaming Fox is, they tend to refer to that one as Macca's. I think it is Macca's or something else. But anyways, they don't call it McD's or McDonald's all that often. Okay, I think this is fine, letting it go on the side like this. We may want to change it later, and it will also need space to expand, but I think this will work for now. So just throw it in there. And I don't see a point of changing it, so we'll just let it do its thing. Now, we'll be able to see in here, it needs 2 tools. We have a limited set of tools in our town central storage. So once the tools get brought over to where they need to be, then the builder, which most likely, which happen to be the same one, it's not always the same, but that one is going to be the camp builder. And now we've got our camp. We have enough villagers right now, so I'm just going to assign the whole works until we need something else. So we can now paint where they are allowed to woodcut, really, is the short form. And I'm going to pause just long enough to say that in these games, not only do you paint where they are, but where is I going with this? Oh, you can see how many up top where it says villagers. So we have a total of 10, and then we have 4 that currently don't have jobs. So this is, as long as I make sure that I have at least 1 available that isn't officially unemployed, or sorry, like we can reassign them, that's fine. If I wanted to see, so these ones are the ones that are unemployed. If they had some other job, like this guy who's currently a builder, I could pull down on that list and make them be something else instead. Excuse me. So what I have done on occasion is if I wanted specific ones to be at a particular job, then just rather than simply hitting the plus thing and picking a specific one, I could tell them your job is you are now a woodcutter, right? And then when I had room to add another woodcutter, this person who was otherwise unemployed just goes and suddenly starts becoming a woodcutter. So it can be one way to specify which ones you want, or it could be another way to pre-assign before the building is complete. Because a lot of these buttons, the plus minus, will show up before they finished building the place. Okay. There's nothing for them to do at the moment, so it doesn't really matter if I do it. So I'm going to paint the wood cutting section. And we don't have a whole ton of place here, so I might as well, for now, let them cut the works. Let's make this big. So if I hold down control and scroll, it makes it nice and large. And I can go right up against this border. And I don't mind them cutting this zone because by the time we care about what's going on, we will not have deforested any of this jazz at all anyway. Okay, so that's good. And I can close this one. And we now have a new building available. They want us to get berry production. Now, although the berries are near the trees, I've yet to see, in the demo at least, they didn't let the berry bushes vanish, even though you chop the trees down around them. So we'll just have to see what happens. So people are hungry. They want houses. There's the forester camp and the gathering hut. So we need the gathering hut because they're hungry. Let's put the gathering hut right Oaks is outside. You can sometimes rig where things are. If I use the rotation here. You can sometimes rig where things are based on the, oh, whoops, left button again, silly me. Based on where the little arrows are. So as long as your arrows or just enough of your building are in the territory, it doesn't care. So I'm going to put this one down, but then rotate it so that the entrance is off to our left, so it's a little closer to the berries. So this one, and I'll rotate it before I tell them to build it. You can see that I've got the back edge a little bit more lined up with the back wall, which is also parallel to our water. And I suspect this zone in between the two trees where it's darker will be a little bit less pleasant to work with. Maybe it's a bit of a slope or something, but I think it looks good. So I can't build it because the requirements have not been met. Okay, so that means if I want to, let's close the lumber camp here and click on this one. Gathering hut. I need 10 wood. And it says that they have not brought them yet. Or haven't got them yet? Should have wood. Not met, or the upfront cost cannot be paid. But we have 73 resources, so I don't get why that's the case. Requires 1 production. Okay, got it. Building stats. Let's close this. Now, the nice part about these in this game is you can pre-stage stuff. So for example, I've got this thing here, but it's staying as a shadow. So I can leave it there and it lets me sort of lay things out and choose to pay for them when they're paid for a full. I'm not quite sure why it's not letting me. What are these guys doing? He's a builder, yes. They're a builder. They're a builder. What are they currently doing? Current productivity 100%, but you're not doing anything. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. And these guys are standing around doing nothing. I know I'll be able to put at least 2 foragers in here, so what I'm going to do is pick on this unemployed list. Marozia. Sure. Marozia can now be a forager. That'll be the berry pickers. Let's add Aurelia. Sure. Actually, you know what? Just for fun. 2 M names. Why not? So these 2 be foragers. And they have little warning signs because they couldn't find a workplace. Reason for it is our workplace is not yet constructed. These warnings are nice because you can sort by them if you need to. Happiness, you can also sort by that. So when we have to make them happy later on, this works well. All right. So I've closed that up. I still don't know why I can't build that one because that's what it's asking for. Build 10. Wood. Hello. Okay, so let me try that again. I don't know why it doesn't like that because it says we've got 85 resources, so things are actually going up. But why we can't pay for the one we've got, I don't know. Let's undo that. Okay. So you can't build what you haven't got. Build. Where is the forester's hut? Let's try this again. Okay, so I'm going to put you. Oh, I see. It was okay. So technically it was outside the territory or it was on an unbuildable spot. Let's try to put it white where it's in there. Then rotate it and hope it stays white. And now it claims outside territory because there is something about that shape. That's why it won't let me build it. Okay. So if I now move it a little bit, just so it's now in territory, it should, cross my fingers, let us actually put this stupid thing there. Yeah. Let's put it over here. Okay, do you like that any better? Yeah, now it's orange, so I can actually pay it. It's not quite as parallel to the ground as I'd hoped, but hey. You know, stuff happens. There, how's that? Self-build your own little path, right? Right. Okay, build. There we go. Okay, so we can see that they're waiting for a builder. They're going to have to bring 10 logs over. So we have to... So it requires production. Place the required number of parts category. Well, we can't because this is our production place. Kind of silly. But as soon as it's done being built, those two that were pre-tagged as being foresters will just go to work. Right? And our goal here is to produce berries before we get other things. There's a little hut. Parts under construction. Excellent. Now, the thing about these places, it's nice, is once you've built them, you can move them later, but it's going to cost you an actual financial amount. So if you do them as shadows, and then decide if that's really where you want them and move them all around and stuff before you build them proper, then that helps you a little bit, because during the shadow phase, they don't cost you extra. Now, for those that were paying attention, you would have seen we briefly had no workers, but because our two, Mariosa and Marielda, were actually already pre-assigned their jobs, then when the place got built, they just popped up and went to work. So you can see them working away there. All right. So as soon as they get their berries actually produced, which we can see by the productivity level, it's slowly going up. Once we start getting production happening and things roll a little better, then it'll qualify that. There we go. Food completed. Now, why? She's finishing up. Where is she? Oh, I see. Okay. This one. Yeah. So she's busy working away. I don't know why she's stuck in a finishing up phase. I'm not going to worry too much about that, because she may be finishing up forever, but that's okay as long as the other gal's working. It could also be that I've just caught the screen wrong. You know, things happen. Yeah, much better. Okay. So they're going to produce resources. That's great, but nobody's going to be able to use those resources. So we now have a question mark. Now, it means someone else wants to talk to us. This little thing on the outside is a timer before that piece goes away.
Hello?
Hey, Dorky Quest, how are you? This is called Foundation. So it's a very cozy city builder thing in a medieval feel. And so we are just jumping right on in with both feet. If you've ever seen city builders along the lines of, not quite city skylines like Max was playing last night, but more of a... What is it I called the other one earlier? Oh, shoot. Anyway, so it's really semi-cartoon-esque, fairly chill city builder. There is resource management and taxation and all that jazz to play with, but I don't have to worry about the fun, in quotes, of dealing with battle, which is great because it's not my thing. Yes, normally Max is a Minecraft player, so I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but that's fine. It's all good. Okay, so this one we need needs and happiness. And so I'll show you that with the individuals. We need to be able to store and distribute the berries they collected. From there, your village will have everything needed to welcome its first wave. So what we're going to need to do, it says fresh water and housing. It'll tell us. It wants us to worry about houses first. Now, they build their own houses. I'm just going to pause to show you these guys. So if I was to click on... Let's find someone who's actually working, who's got a life. Here we go. Okay, we'll just grab the guy in the lumber camp. So, Gibod? Oh, geez. See, this is why I want to rename them. He, in order to stay happy at the moment, happiness 0 just because we haven't gotten very far. We're learning about it. But he's going to need water, so we're going to have to get him a well built in town. He needs food, rustic food right now, which means we can use berries, vegetables, and fish, which we've got berries coming in. Hey, Mike, welcome on in. Good to see you. Hopefully your lurk went well. And then, of course, he needs a place to live. and they have different choices of different types of places he could live. So additional needs, these ones are, they're not really important at this point of the game, like as in he doesn't really care, he'll keep doing his job, but in order to be able to promote him past serf, he's going to need to have other things like service being referring to a church, and refined food being referring to things made out of other things, clearly. So for example, once we get farming for wheat going, then he's going to want a refined food of bread. This is the sort of direction we go. All right. And then if down here, I can follow him around, which is kind of cool. So as he runs around the village, I can follow him to do things. Or I can view the workplace, which will show us his camp spot. And then, or if he's got a house at that point, then I can click on the house and it would take him straight to the house. And so we can name everybody as well. We're going to have to start naming them because I already can't pronounce these guys' names. Delayed Valentine dinner, huh? Yeah, happens. I'm glad. I hope it was yummy and that you had a good time. We had a good Valentine's dinner at our place, too. So you can see these little guys are just doing their job back and forth, deforesting the place. Okay, so this guy wants a residential zone painted. So we do the same things we do with the trees. Click that to turn that one on. Left click to paint, right click to erase. Control and mouse wheel to resize.
Ads
E to
are
increase your
starting.
brush size,
Dylan
or
will
L to
continue
increase your
the
brush size. Well,
conversation
frankly, if
after
I
the
can
ads
use
are
the scroll
over.
wheel, why
Thank you
would I
for
do it
supporting
differently?
the stream.
And we have ads. Apologies for that. Okay, so let's zoom myself out. And we're just going to let them build along this edge here. Now, they're going to want us to build our own monument, yeah, I guess, manor pretty soon. So what I'm going to do is make my brush a little smaller. And actually, you know what? I'm going to tuck it in here for now. We'll see how we do with housing. Yeah, I'll let him go right up and in. Maybe I'll leave the trees out for now. So we can go all the way into this back zone here. And we'll give maybe about half. It doesn't think, or thinks we're still doing it. But anyways, we need to define houses. Now we need to fulfill the needs by building a well. So let's just finish off the painting because it cut me off. But people are already building their houses. So one of the things I do like about this game, yeah, that can take that out. Why not? Is the villagers will build their own houses. You don't have to tell them how big the space needs to be. They just do it. It's great. All right, so now I'll turn that off. I can make the paint, sorry, you've seen it circular, right? I could switch over and make it square if I wanted to. Same sort of thing in the end. Okay, so now we need a well. So we're going to go back to the build, grab ourselves a well, and let's put it somewhere quasi-picturesque, I guess, maybe? You know, near the builder's workshop, it's not bad, because based on the size and shape of this particular slot, it looks kind of nice and central. Yeah, I could put it over here, but I think it's a little bit rough going up that direction, so let's stick the well right about in there for now. So people are going to actually build... You can see the roads are starting to appear between the various places. I kind of like that this one's a little cockeyed with regards to the road that's showing up. So I think I'm going to put it right there. I like that clover look, so let's see if we can destroy less of it. Right there. Now, can we afford this? Not exactly. So what we're going to need to do is it's going to cost us 10 wood and 5 stone and the coins. Now, if I say to build it, we can't actually build it yet because we have the stone. So we can tell it, like all the needs up top have been met, but we just don't have the supplies to actually build it. So I can tell it I want it to be built and then do that. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to leave the shadow piece there and not tell it to be built. But in order... Yes, housing insufficient. I know. But in order to... what's the word? In order to have this work, we're going to need to go down here, probably, that's my guess, and put in a stone quarry. Stonecutter's camp. Alright, so I'm going to zoom back out so we can see what we're doing. There's our stone. Let's put the Stonecutter's camp... I think I'll put it on this side. They're close to the camp with their abilities, their tools, their whatever. But they're not... like, if I put it on this side, it will make all these flowers go away. If I put over here, they have to walk extra far, so I might as well stick it just down on the south side. I guess I could put it on the west, maybe, and sandwich it right up. Oh, no. I messed up those little white ins and outs, that's the thing. So let's put it here. I'm going to zoom in a bit more. And I'm going to spin it a bit. So they can get in and out easily, but they can also get past it. Like other groups could potentially access it if need be. What's this? Does that work? You go like right on top of it? Ooh, I almost can. Let's try just a bit more. There we go. Okay, so that looks better. And I'm going to spend this one first because we need 10 wood. We do have enough, but we also need 2 tools. So I'm going to build that now. And it's going to need workers. So it's not letting me assign the 2 workers we have left. So I'm going to tell these 2 unemployed people, you're going to be a miner. And this other one, for now, you're going to be a miner. And that means that when this camp is finished, they can just go right to work. Right on the, you were on the wait list in the car during FSF. Oh, yeah. I can imagine this would be a really, really busy time for restaurant reservations. Even if you already had one reserved in advance, that it would need to be, what's the word? Saved? That's not the word. Like a bit of a wait, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you can see down here in the camp that they've actually wore out a little bit of the ground right away, and there's going to be more of it worn out fairly quickly. You can see we're also on the builder's workshop. They made a bit of a beeline road to get up to the foraging section, but that's fine. Now we are seeing a label underneath our villagers saying housing is insufficient, probably because these 2 guys don't have a house or something. I don't know. So it looks like our space is small, but I'm going to let them build all the way down to the water, I think, because it'll give us a chance to play with that. And I can always, I hate to say it, but I can always evict later if I have to. Let's go, yeah, I'll let them come all the way down. They won't, but I can always kick somebody out later if I have to. It stinks. We can do it. Okay, let's move this bit a little square. Okay, great. So now, do you have enough residential, sir? Are you going to complain anymore? It's the label left, so which means we probably have room for more houses. You can see they build their cool little houses, and they've got their yards and so on. I think it's kind of neat, because you can go right in. I love it how this is actually something semi-accurate here. So what's been happening on this one, you can see the thatchers are at work. What these logs were for was actually to help with the thatch. So the thatch would often be put in when it was wet, and it would dry to be the tan color we're used to seeing. Just they want it wet for flexibility. But the thing is that they needed, well, 2 things to happen. One, this particular styling is actually done as scaffold, so that the workers can stand on these while they're putting in the thatch. And so that's why there's stones on their side at various different levels. These are counterweights. But the other thing that these can be used for is that they can also be used to help hold down the outward edges of the thatch, so that as the grass dries, it doesn't curl up. And so that's kind of neat. They've sort of referenced that a little bit by having edges curling here. But you'll find these sometimes showing up on the homesteads that aren't quite finished yet. I have seen them go away, but I don't know if it was when I leveled a house or if it was it went away on its own. Now, if you click on a house, it's got already somebody living in it. Let's say this one here is the first I saw. There's nothing to report. It's a size 2, so we can't increase it or decrease it. It's fully good. It's got Mariosa and Rina living there. Okay. They don't have to be, we're not talking nuclear families or anything like that. We also don't have to worry about, really, at this moment, we don't worry about the class. In order to raise the quality of the house, it's got to have these other things, and we'll get to what that means. But right now, only the ones that are lit up, the circles, are the ones that we need to worry about. And this is green, good to go. Desirable neighborhood, so far so good. Green, good to go. This one's so far so good. It's in a residential area. Score 1. Beautification we have not unlocked yet, and a commoner resident is not unlocked yet. So these are the things we would need to upgrade to a medium quality house, which allows it to potentially be a little higher density as well. Alrighty. I love it. We can rename these, but for now it's just called house. It's like, okay, sounds good to me. Alright, so we need to build the well. Which we've got, if I take a look up top and down here, we can see both cases. We have 8 stone in storage, which means I can go ahead, click on the shadow of the well, decide, is it still where we want it to be? And I think I like that in the center still. I think I'm going to go with it. So I'm going to click on in the shadow, and now that we have the resources easily available, that I'm willing to spend the money. Later on, when we need upkeep, we have to spend more for just upkeeping the region, or there might be a cost to something on a regular basis, then more of the whole shadow not paying it right away thing will become useful. Because as I said, you can pre-plan where things are, but then wait till you have the appropriate, say, money or resources or whatever. This space here, it serves a few functions. So it's temporary storage for these pieces while we're waiting. Later on, once this is empty, then when you move this piece, it actually just represents your village center, even though it actually doesn't do anything. But the village center can move. And the key piece of what the village center is for us longer term is that it's also where, when we get immigration, it's where we're going to be getting new villagers showing up to at the village center. So they'll wander in from wherever, stand there, and then when they're ready to be, say, I'm moving in, then you'll get little symbols over their heads. So what have we got going on right now? We have, the well is pokey. Waiting for a builder. Okay, so we have a problem with the builders. What are they all up to? He's on free time doing not much. That one's just a builder. Doing what? Free time? Working. Okay, so the 2 of them are working and one's on free time. What is Ms. Free Time doing? Where is she? Okay, so she's at home, basically, doing the home thing. But at this point in the game, they also have permission to be detouring through everybody else's yards. Apparently that's semi-accurate historically, but I'm not worried too much about historical accuracy in this game because I'm just having a lot of fun with it. And now she's waiting for work. Oh, because I see our fine friend is now building a well. Okay, so we have 2 builders not doing a whole lot right now. I could reassign them to other jobs. For example, if I close off this one and then look at, come on, here we go. No, that's not, it's you. I want your workplace. Oh, let's click on the workplace, not the rock. So I could actually repurpose one of the builders and make them dig more stone. It's not super critical at this point of the game, but it could be useful. I would love to speed it up with saying, hey, let's put 2 builders on a project. As far as I know, with most projects, at least in the early stages of the game, you cannot do that, but I would love to be able to. Okay, so we've finished that part of the needs, except, oh, it wants me to deal with this first. Okay, so it wants us to build a market, because we need somewhere to put the berries. The villagers can't actually go access them themselves once you've unlocked the ability to do a market. So I have to say got it to the tooltip before I can close other windows. That's a bit of a dumb thing, but we'll get there. Okay, so going kind of level, let's pull out a little bit more. I'd love to zoom our map, but it doesn't really seem to let me. Storage full, of course it would be. Yeah, the lumber camp, of course the storage would be full. I don't need the lumber camp to do a whole lot right now. So in that case, how many do we have here? Okay, 9 of 50. It's a slower resource to produce, it looks like, than the wood appears to be. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one guy off here. Do we care? Let's see, let's sort our jobs. They're all really the same. Okay, the only one I don't really want to move is the first one, Gentiluccio, because he appears to be slightly higher level as a woodcutter. So I'm betting Jacques will go there, and I'm going to make you instead, buddy. You're going to have a new job instead. You can go, you're going to be a market tender. You can go tend our market stall, which he does not have yet. So he's going to be a little confused. He's going to be a little confused for a moment here because we need to actually build said stall. So the market stalls come in multiple places. So you're going to have the stall itself, and then tent to cover it. If we have the funding, we can put the tent over right away. It looks like we do have the wood to cover it, and at the moment we do have 20 cloth in storage. We may eventually need to start buying some, but I think let's try putting both pieces in until we don't have the funding. So let's see. You know, even though we have the lumber camp over here, I think putting a market along the same side might work, actually. I went square with these houses, right? Let's put a market on this side then. So we have lumber camp on one side, but then we've got the foraging out the back, and that way we can just have the berry stall like right along the road. And when we get a second one, we can maybe put 2 or 3 along this way, and maybe slowly build down in chewing up these flowers, or maybe up into the woods, depending on. Well, that hill's gonna be nasty, but that's fine. We can move the lumber camp if we need to. All right. So what I'm gonna do, if I can remember how to do this, this one? Nope. Ah, oops, wrong button again. I really need to figure this one out. You know what, if all else fails. So we can see we've got 3 white arrows on this one, which means that we can put 3 different, or it approaches from 3 different directions. So now whatever's going to happen, people are going to overrun these flowers. It's just the way it's going to be. So let's put this down. And I forgot how to rotate before we put it down. That's what I was trying to figure out again. Let's put this shadowed. Somewhat parallel to the road is kind of nice, but let's move it a little bit more, just so that if I could sneak it in here so that we don't have to ruin the flowers as much, I'd like to. Oh, but by the time I put the canopy up. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's see. We're going to end up with another one for fish and then for bread, so let's mark it. I'll start with the berries like right smack in the middle of the road, and then we'll take it apart. Now, they don't have to be perfectly aligned. Like, I can put the arrow approaching the road, and that's fine at this point in the game. So let's put that there. And I'm going to... I like where this is positioned. So if I put rustic market tent, it comes out looking all kinds of weird. But I'll show you something real quick here. When we click on this one... Oh, you can't see it on this one. Shoot. When I picked that one, you can see in the center, there's this white dot. This means it's required to be attached. And then you'll see on the shadow part of the market stall itself, there's a circle. And so that means that's an attachment point. And we don't have a choice in terms of orientation at the moment. I think it can be forward or back, but there's a front and a back to the market stall. Okay. And so this one, I'll just snap that on there. But the tent itself, if I put it without, it's just going to cost me the 10. If I put it with the canopy, it's going to cost me additional 5. And what does this say? And there's a maintenance cost for the tent. At the moment, I think we can afford it, but I'm not really sure what this does. It increases the capacity at the stall by 20. Okay, that's probably a good thing then. I can afford that for now. All right. Now it's going to cost me 5 to build the whole works, 20 wood, and 5 cloth. Let's go for it. And we've already got a gentleman who's going to be a market stall person. This camp, once they start moving the wood for the market, this one may dump its amounts or drop its amounts. It may not. Depends where they take the wood from. Okay, they're taking it from here, so the wood level went down to 30, which means the people left over. There's the one who's actually going to cut wood. You're gathering. Okay, this is the gathering one. So if I go over here, and it moved, where's the view? I don't know where he went. Oh, there he is. So he went way, way off in here, and decided to fell a tree in there. I don't know why he didn't fell one at the edge, which is still within his zone, but that's fine. To each their own. And if I'd actually watched it from above, you can see, in the demo I got the chance to see, you can actually watch them as they fell trees. It's kind of cool, it falls down. Okay, so now that we've got the stall, we've got a village market that has a market stall. Okay, so we're working on the stall. We signed the tender. So once this is done, I can click here. Oh, I can do it now. And I can assign the resource, and at the moment we only have berries as our choice. So once we do that, while this is being constructed, here's our little guy, and he's going to go over to the foraging hut. He's going to go get some berries to fill the stall with. It tells you how much it's consumed this week, etc. They're telling things are under construction, yada yada. Alright. There, now apparently we're considered ruler titles, Lord and Lady, woohoo! Okay, so I've signed encouraging immigration. I've signed a job to all the villagers, 10 out of 10, woohoo! I have to raise the happiness to 75, which currently is at 53. Okay, so let's take a look. Wow, we went in at 630, it decreased 2 to 2. I'm surprised, you know. Whether it be Uber Eats or Skip the Dishes or whatever your mileage may vary, for things like that, I suspect that, you know, for Valentine's weekend, if you don't have a booking, you're just waiting. Like, you might as well, when it's dinner hour, basically, you might as well basically decide that you're going to have lunch, and then your project for the day is to go and wait in line for your dinner slot. Okay, so when we edit buildings, you can move and rotate the parts. Some can be scaled up and down. Buildings can be further improved with new parts. Monuments, which is what they qualify a manor house to be, can be improved with additional parts and sub-buildings. If you double-click a building part, it'll select all the connected parts simultaneously. And their example they had is the market stall. So once we've built it, or even putting them together before they're built, if I double-click it, it'll pick everything all at once. Okay, so move and rotate. They have the keywords, and there is, it's over here, this one, help, which I've hidden behind other things. But in any case, I can look at multi-part buildings. So as you see various different things, it will actually check off the bits you've seen. If you were to do this without the help boxes popping up, you can just jump in and pick whatever help thing you need. So, yeah. And visibility, what's that? Oh, okay, yeah, I'll get there. We'll get there. So this guy's running back and forth, keeps filling the place because our workers consumed 4. We can see in the center of the villagers thing how happy they are, but also if I click on it, then we can see there's a happiness issue, right? 75% for some of them. We need everything at 75. And some of them are at 50. So if I go to find this person, okay, and they're only at 50, what do they need? They need more rustic food. So at some point, they're probably working, is my bet. If I was to find them, close this. Hello, what are you doing at work? Show me your workplace. You're busy. Okay, so you're probably on shift. We're a little bit slow in building things, so taking them away from that job would definitely make it not as big a deal. But it looks like they're all taking turns doing their various things for the jobs. So I suspect then that that they're just not, what's the word? Not available. Like they're working at work. I think there's a day-night cycle available. I haven't played with it a whole lot. There is down at the bottom here. There we go. Click. So it's daytime, dusk, night, and rainy. Well, let's not go with that one. So it doesn't actually have a cycle, but you can make it do different things. Good to know. Okay. So we're at 73, it says, in the bottom, up top. So we're almost at the point where we're going to get immigration, which means new people, which will mean new housing needs and new workplace needs. So it'll tell us what to do next, but is there something we haven't... Okay, so we have a forester camp. I have not built that one yet because I didn't think we really needed to reforest this particular purchased zone. So I'm going to leave that one until they tell us about it because there'll be a regular scheduled upkeep, which you can see right next to the resources needed section. And so I don't want to start spending the money for that person when I might have to move their camp later and actually getting them doing a job I don't really want them to do. So immigration is there, which means we've just got a new little person to show up. This fine individual. I think it's this one? No, maybe not. I don't know where the newbie went. That's interesting. Why is there... Usually there's people here. Maybe... Business-minded villager proposes creating a trade route with their closest neighbor, Northbury, to sell resources for a profit and obtain items that cannot be produced locally. Northbury needs planks, so we should start with those. Okay, so in order to do planks, as we roll over here, it says we need to build a warehouse, probably for storage, and assign planks to a warehouse. So I'm betting the warehouse is also acting as our market for bigger places like this. Okay, so it's telling me about this bit. I've done it in the tutorial, so I'll talk you through it. It's a little bit easier to see that way. So now that we've got a new flag up here next to the map, and it's progression. So the progression is helpful. It tells us a lot of different things. At the moment, we only have the common path. It's not letting us choose other things to do. But we've got storage is unlocked, fishing is unlocked, wooden bridge and village fence. Or these are things that are available to be unlocked. So let's start with the storage, because we're going to need the warehouse. And it's going to cost us 25 coins to unlock this section. Now, our current wealth, I believe, can afford that. Yep, top right says we have 405 of 500 coins. So we're going to pay 25 to unlock the storage. I'm going to let us just stick with that for now. We will fairly quickly start needing the fishing. But we'll just leave it at that. Okay. Yes, hello, new buildings available thing. Thank you. I will say that their little label sticks around a little bit too long for my taste. I wish I had a way of like, exiting out of that a little faster. There we go. All right, so now we have new buildings. It needs a warehouse and granary. So in a way, it's a warehouse for grain. Now, it says you can put in the warehouse, you can put in basically anything, like raw materials, resources, goods, and luxury goods. Which foods do count as, but here, rustic food, refined food, raw food, and luxurious food, but it's all food. It specifies for our little quest we need the warehouse, so we're going to go with the regular type, and then we can look at a granary of sorts later. So, let's see. I'm going to... Can I close? Oh, nope, okay. Won't let me close that. That one's a little big. I wish we could actually minimize these while we were working. Would be nice. But for now... We've got a river down in the bottom. I still like this place being kind of central. So having a warehouse on the center part of town, though, can be a little frustrating. So I'm just trying to decide, should I put it... You know, I'm actually thinking... We're doing planks, so we're going to need ourselves a sawmill as well. So, let's see. For now... trying to decide, do I want... Let me put it up here. Oh, outside. Okay, I'm gonna put it up here. The idea being that we can have residential going off on this west side. And then we can have like markets right up here, storage up this direction, like marketplaces where foreigners can come and buy things. And they may come through from a road off the top or whatever. I could even put it in this corner if I really wanted to. Then everybody's got to run everything back and forth. Now I'm wondering. I'm actually thinking... I'm regretting that I put the sawmill where I did. Because I probably should have put it farther over and then put the warehouse like literally right here. I don't really want to spend the money to change that though, so... We can see we've got a yard. Sorry, on this shape. You can see we've got... Did I pick the wrong thing? I picked a lumber camp. That's probably why. Build. Okay, we want resource, food, logistics. Logistics. There we go. Warehouse. There we go. Okay, so you can see we've got a yard to work with and 4 entrances. So what I'm probably going to do then is sandwich it between... No, I wanted the market to go over there. Maybe we'll come off this side after all. And have the entrances like right along this central section. But I want to see... Yeah. So if I... It's going to take out the trees, right? Well, I guess we don't really need the trees because they'll take themselves out at some point. And it's going to take out some berries, but I think we're fine where we are. Yeah, right here will work just fine. Just why? Because. I'm going to move it just a little bit over so that hopefully they'll be able to build a road up through the flowers, like between, without destroying the flowers. And I'm going to set it down about there, and then just rotate it around the opposite direction. Maybe I need to shove it over just a bit. So let's turn it and then shove it. Good old push. Pushing and shoving. Okay. Yeah, that's... The berry bush is going to go, but it's better than kicking the pants. So let's turn it a bit more. I'm being a little silly with it. Oops. Yeah, why not? It's artistic, right? We can always change it later. If I was to hit the X, that would cancel it. So that's part of what I was doing by right-clicking by mistake. Okay, so this is what we want. Takes 15 planks, which we don't have, and stone, but it'll take 2 upkeep. Now, I don't know if it's going to cost that upkeep while we're waiting, so I'm going to leave it ghosted. And in order to get planks going, we have to build ourselves a production. We need a sawmill. So we have a sawmill. There's 1 plank in exchange for 1 wood, which means it'd be actually better to have it close to the lumber camp. So I'm going to throw the sawmill up here. You guys can see me licking my lips. It's hilarious. Alright, so the lumber camp can be approached from the front and the back. I think we're probably going to end up losing these flowers, but that's alrighty. So if I put the lumber camp in here, it looks like it's got a little bit of room to expand. The front and the back are accessible, more or less. Yeah, we can let everybody run through. Sure. Why not? That's fine. Okay, so that one will have an upkeep of 1 per month. It takes 10 stone, which we certainly have, and 20 wood, which we certainly have. So let's get this one going. I'm going to show you something a little different. I've only got 1 underway here. I've chosen to let this other piece stay ghosted. I could do it a little differently, which is basically click onto the one I want. And where is the piece? The thing. Oh, there's an arrow here on the right-hand side. I can tell it. I could pause its construction, or I could tell it to prioritize the construction of this one. And that's what I'm going to do, because what it will do is, even if there was a builder on another house, they would stop working on that other house to come do the high priority construction first. So we can see that we now have somebody I can't pronounce on working on the house. All right, so we have under 25 minutes left before we head out to the next person. I'm just going to take a quick pause while this house is being built, or thing, because it's taking a little bit. Just to do a real quick run. Yes. And do the stream weekend schedule dealio. So after me will come is that even the right one? Yeah, there we go. After me will come the wonderful CK Grapes. And then from CK Grapes, we roll right on into Dadcraft. And so after that is our fine friend Wolfen. So it's going to be a great time all around. And I believe CK was headed back into the Minecraft world. I could be wrong, but that's what I understood. All right, so there's your crew. Now, it's still being built, but what I'm going to do is take a look. And up top here in the villagers, it says immigration is high. Now, I've made a minor boo-boo, but not a bad one. It's something we'll recover from. So within the number bottom left, you can see month, 2 months, 2 weeks, 7 days have elapsed so far. And if I go up to the immigration thing, it says our next wave is coming in 7 days from now. So we don't actually have anything. Which means I might actually, in the meantime, because I have no unemployed workers, look elsewhere and see where I can possibly borrow workers from for now. And then I could always assign more others later. So let's see, how many builders? Okay, this one is bored. You know what? You, my fine friend, are actually going to get a new job. So this one, we're going to make you instead not a woodcutter. Carpenter. There we go. Huzzah! Enjoy being a carpenter. Now, it does always start them down from level 1. But that's just the way it works. I got lucky. I didn't have to do that. Which means... Where are you? This one? Redwina. Okay, where are you? You, my fine lady, I'm going to change your job already. Because I had the luxury of doing so. Okay. Person. This one. You're not a carpenter anymore. You can be back to whatever you were. What were you? Builder. So you can see that she's already trained at builder, so I don't have to worry about that. So what I'm going to do then is these new people, these pluses, they say they want to come and live with us in our village. They want to emigrate in. If these timers around the outside expire, they leave. So this is where I missed out on some earlier ones. And the next wave will be in 5 days. So if I take these 3, they're now my 3 unemployed people. Which means I can throw 2 of them at the sawmill, because we're going to need a bunch. And this one doesn't have anybody working here yet, but I'm going to make this 3rd person, unemployed person. You are going to be the... Oh, I can't give them the job until I build the place. Well, of course, that would make... Or until the place starts to be under construction. Yeah. Oh, nope, you're a transporter. That's your job. That's what it is. So yes, couldn't find a workplace. Of course you can't, because I haven't asked it to be built yet. Go figure. So the sawmill is working just fine. They don't have any planks yet. First thing they need is getting wood. So they'll have workers bring wood from the logging place over to the warehouse. Not the warehouse. The sawmill. Okay, do we have what in here? Temporary storage. Okay, so... oh, I can't assign anything. Yes, silly me. Duh. Production input. Production output. Okay, great. So we need the workers to show up. And I don't know what they're doing. Not sure where they are. They're probably just chilling at home. So, yeah, we'll go with that. But I'm now at a point where I know we're going to end up with planks. I'm not bothered by the fact that we have none now. I'm going to go ahead with this warehouse and just tell it to be built, because I believe we're close enough that it's going to be worth spending the maintenance cost if we have to. It's not great, but it will do. So we need only 15 planks. Now it's a 1-to-1, unfortunately, with the logs, as far as I can tell. So yeah, we're going to end up with more. All right, so let's build this warehouse. What's this? Huh. Okay. So now that we've got that, we know we've got a transporter going to be assigned. This one can hold 4. So our next wave, we may actually get them to do more here, but it probably wouldn't hurt to look at our happiness. Okay, so the carpenter just recently got their job. That's fine. And the transporter's level 1. And we've got another carpenter as well. So that'll help a little bit. So these 2 people are new, which is part of why they aren't happy a whole lot yet. And the transporter really can't be, because his workplace is still in an unusable state. And once it starts getting under construction, I can start assigning things to be there, which will start emptying out the temporary storage we have here. Yay, and you know what? I'm going to speed things up just a little bit, because we're just waiting for stuff. What's probably going to happen is we're going to see a couple of villagers pop up, and I'll pick them to come join our village until we get a bit more complaining about housing. We have 13 total working for us, and we would like to get that to be a bit more. So it looks like somebody, somewhere along the line, is moving things away from the village center to the storage in the logging, which makes sense. Sort of as an intermediary step. Okay, 10 berries. I'm surprised they haven't taken the berries out to the market, but it's probably because this one is full enough that it doesn't really matter. There we go. Okay. So because... okay, I don't need to worry about that right now. Close that up. Alright, so let's pick up our speed a little bit. Double speed. Everybody's like running around doing their thing. There come the trees. I find it interesting that they're coming out the long way down here rather than all going up the other side, but we'll see as time goes. You can see that there's roads starting to create themselves. This one we still have. Still bringing 2 planks. Okay, so somebody made planks. We're getting closer though. And this person, you're just chilling,
Fantastic
right?
Sherlock Fox says, 15 minutes
15
to
minutes?
the hour,
Excellent.
Dylan.
Ding! Come on, game. Okay, so I have one more speed level. Let's move this up. Aha, there's our new people, so we're just going to get them to work for us. And you guys, for now, why not? You can be transporters for now until we need you for something else. Now, the people that we've got here so far are going to start needing other things. Refined foods and services. We can get to those fairly shortly, but the rustic foods, not everybody wants to eat berries. So we're going to eventually want to unlock the fish and get them rolling. The fishing house. And I'm not sure about the vegetables thing. I haven't figured out how to deal with that. But so we won't be too long until we run out of things that I know how to do. I'm hoping pretty soon we'll be able to get more, another flag will show up top and we can start working on picking up our trade route. Excellent. So we're just about having enough supplies. Then we can prioritize this one being built, but there's really no point because nothing else would be likely to be built right now other than the house itself, like these houses. So I think there's might be room for one more house down here. I'm not quite sure why this one's so large, but I'm expecting that in not too long from now, we're going to end up with people complaining that we're out of living space. My aim, if they let me, would be to buy this portion here to the left and see how that goes. Or, well, rather technically, to the north, right? Now that we have enough village going on, it's worth reorienting ourselves to the map direction because they don't seem to let us move the map. Storage. Oh, we can do that. That's interesting. I didn't know that we could click on something like that on a big map. Good to know. All right, so it now says our storage is full on the Stonecutter camp, which is handy. I just lost a lot of my sound. I don't know what happened there, but that's okay. Okay, so the warehouse is built, so we're going to assign resources to it. First off, we need to assign planks, because that's what it says we need to. Yay! And then, I have a royal book. Woohoo! So we need to unlock the trade route. So let's go to Norbury and do that. But I want to actually see what Norbury will take. Trade routes. Hello? That's resources, sorry. I want trade routes. That is this one. Left click, right click. Yeah. Okay, so Norbury will be able, we can buy from them cloth, we can buy from them tools. And we can buy a whole bunch of other stuff that we don't seem to have a need for right now, so I'm going to leave it. We have to be cautious of how much it costs to buy something versus how much that we can sell our stuff for. So we're going to sell them planks. We can also sell them polished stone, which we don't have yet, but that would just be involving a, I can't remember what the job is, but the person takes from the stone quarry, basically, and then turns it into that. So that's good. And then we can also store more of the stone and the logs over at the storage place. But this will allow us, it's going to cost us 20 planks, which we don't have yet. Up top, I can see we've got resources building. We're at 15, so this will take very short order of time. But if I go over to resources, I want to say that we will be able to sell these or sell them. So I want to get ahead of the game here and say, how many do I want to keep in stock at all times? And because we seem to be doing things that are coming in 10s and 20s and, 15s, like versions of 5, I think, just for kicks, I think we're going to, let's go with having 30 planks. Now, this is the amount that I want to have at all times. So I can either buy from wherever it is up to the amount that I want to have in stock at all times, or I can sell anything that's over that amount. So we're going to come back in and we're going to sell over that amount. And I might as well do the same with stone just in advance. It doesn't hurt anything that we don't have any resources for that at the moment. That way we always have a bunch in stock. And once again, that'll be a sell over the top. We may need to end up buying tools up to a certain point and buying cloth up to a certain point. So I'm going to assign tools and cloth as well to these bottom 2 slots so that everything in our starter market spot has a place to be. Okay? So I'm going to assign... Oh, we can't assign the other one yet because I don't have it. That's fine. We'll leave that slot empty. I'm going to assign cloth to the bottom one and tools to the second from the bottom. And this one, when it's available, will be the resources. So let's slow this down again a little bit. And we're going to bring in these 3 people. Yay! And we should be able to afford the trade routes now. We've got 23 planks. Trade route. There we go. So let's unlock this trade route. Now, because we... I don't know what that last one was. Oh, Spice of Life. I just got an achievement. Yippee! So, what this is going to say is we've already got it assigned, because we assigned planks, and we've got to unlock the trade route. Now we have to allow the sale of the planks from the resources tab, which is what we couldn't do until we unlocked it. So now we've got the planks ready to go, and we can sell everything above that value, which apparently I actually have to click that. And what's the other piece? Oh. And if we really wanted to, we could stockpile it, and basically none of the villagers could actually use it until we're dealing with whatever our target is. So let's say villagers were using up the planks for their local situations. Then we could say, no, you guys can't have any until we've got whatever it is we needed to be able to do things. And then these track pieces, it's going to show it where it's stored or used. I don't really see a reason of doing that right now because I only have one building. But once I have multiple different warehouses with different things in them, I'll probably turn on the track icon so I can see where various different things are stored. But like, for example, yeah, I'm not going to the mode, but it'll basically put the icon over top of the building. Nothing too fancy. I'm not even sure why we bother with an infinite. Like, we have an infinite in the well, so tracking where it's storing water seems kind of dumb, but there's probably a reason for it in some of the other modes. Alright, so we've got that. Yeah, I think that's going to work well. So for the moment, they want us to talk to us about... A lighthearted woman thinks that we should... Mandates. They want a great house... to help them manage the village and enact new mandates, she suggests building a manor house and a great hall. So it wants me to actually have my place. Yeah, man, time flies. Well, that's what happens, right? Okay, so it wants me to buy a new territory so that I can actually build my manor house. Yippee skippy. So this flag at the bottom has showed up. Oh, hang on a sec here. What I'm going to do... Game. I know we're nearing the end, so I really shouldn't be mucking with things now. But, you know, I can't leave well enough alone, can I? Alright, so I need to click this one, and then I can shoot all the way up. Let's go up to the top of the screen instead. I know it risks hiding things behind the Streamcraft logo. We're closer to the end of the stream. I'm okay with this. Sorry, but having a little black strip or a dark purple strip bothers me. There. We're going to go with that. Alright, so, a long story short, we are back. And you can see at the bottom we have this little flag here that now says territory. So that's how we're going to go and pick more territory. The first one was free. Right, one free territory to redeem. And you own one territory. So it looks like they're letting me have one more for free at the moment. So we can purchase territory to expand, or we can abandon territory to decrease upkeep. I kind of like this next one, except there is a stupid amount of river. And I'm not really sure at the moment if I want to deal with that much river. I kind of wished it was going to go up the other direction, but it didn't. We could expand up top. It's not letting us have one near the border. I don't really like this one because it's such a bizarre shape, you can't really do much with it. I may go with this one next door anyways. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, I may go to the next door anyways, because if we look at on the map here, it's still roughly the same size as what we started with, plus river. So there may be perks to that in terms of putting the fishing maybe right up near the top. It's a long ways away. We could start with it down toward the bottom and then expand further. Though here's the funny thing is once you buy a territory, these two actually meld in such a way that you don't see it as shapes like separate anymore. Not until you go and purchase, I should say. Alright, so I'm probably going to grab this one that's right north of us. Cost is 0 because the game wants us to be able to expand, so we're going to do that. Okay, so let's purchase said territory. This one. Yippee skippy. Common path tier 2. Alright, now it wants us to acquire a manor house in the progression menu and build one. You've been enjoying this game. Yeah, I'm glad. I've been really liking it. I think it'll probably go with a little bit of the mix and match Mondays from time to time. So, partly because Lego is so expensive, I'm going to, what's the word? Enjoy it, for sure. But I might drop my Lego frequency, depending on how long it takes to build something. I may not go through no more than a set a month kind of deal. Sometimes it might take 2 builds, sometimes it might be just 1, or if it's a set that makes a logical break, like our current one, made sense to build the part that it had, and now we're building onto the shack. So we made a logical reason to stop. But in between, I'll probably play things like the Foundation on Mix and Match Monday, and then we'll do some sort of Minecraft the rest of the week. That's the thought I've got right now. We'll see how it goes, because, you know, I could be impulsive and random, and you never know if you're going to get Foundation all of a sudden later in the week. But it wouldn't necessarily be Wednesday and Thursday or something like that, because the community that we've grown up with is mostly a Minecraft-based community. And I needed that hydrate, because I didn't take the hydrate that Dorky Quest gave us all 20 minutes ago. Alright, so let's do that, and this one. Alright, so let's show you a little bit about this part, because this is where it blends into my love of tiny thing. And I know CK is probably getting ready to fire up, so we need to watch for that. So now it's giving us the new building parts. 3 different canopies for the market and a sign. Yippee skippy. The sign isn't that useful at the moment, but we have to go. Now I've got this next piece. I'm wondering where I'm going to want to put the manor house, because it won't let me go way up top. And looking at the land, you know, actually, maybe I will put the manor house quite literally right in here in the edge and expand into this forest, because then I've got a nice little overlook down the hill. And it stays away from, being a little rude and old-fashioned, it stays away from the serfs.
Fantastic Sherlock Fox
All right.
says, CK Grapes went live 4
Good to
minutes
know.
ago. Dylan.
Good to know. So you're on it like a comet. That works perfect. And yes, I know, that was an old Disney reference. Apologies. Okay, so let's start this puppy, and then we'll let her go. Because I'm having more... Oh, yeah, so you can see the little road is developing itself from the north. People are starting to come in, so I'm going to hire those guys when they show up. But we need to get a move on. We need the progression flag. Now we can choose our situations. Do we want to go with the labor route, kingdom route, or clergy route? Now, we don't have much choice at the moment. You could recruit and train and deploy combatants. We want to work with simples, so we'll start with the manor house, although maybe someday we'll go down the clergy route. For now, we're going to go with this. And you can see that you've got tiers to these various stages, so our interface is a little janky because of the way I zoomed in at the beginning, so you guys could see better. We've got other things available at the second tier. And the second tier, you have to have a certain amount of prosperity to be able to get there. So now we can look into things like beautification and so on. But it talks about manor houses. And I clicked it because it cost 25 to do, we could afford it, and off we go. Yoink. Okay. So, I'd love to make it decisions, but we've got... Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to build the main manor house up here. So I'm actually going to want it at a fairly clear run. I don't really want to see... actually, you know what? Maybe I'll build it... Maybe back in here, then I have water on both sides? I don't know. It's a pretty big territory to do that with, though. Let's see what it lets me do. So we've got, it needs a manor house that has a great hall. Okay. So we need to go over to administration, build. We need, it says manor house. We're going to start with a great hall. Yippee skippy. On the right-hand side, in order to qualify, we need to have one room of any sort. So let's go rooms. See, you can pick a room. We need to have a part named visitor location, which we'll see that. That's this interactive location biz. It's where visitors wait until you go to deal with them. So it's where their little timers will be. And then we have to have an access. So we need to have a door, either a big one or a small one. That's all there is to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have a whole lot of outbuildings to start. We don't have a whole ton of money. So I'm going to start with the main minor manor hall, because that's all we've got unlocked at the moment. And if I can afford it, I'll add a boudoir on, but it costs an upkeep of 2. And I think I'm going to be cheap to start. So let's see, what does our territory allow us? Outside, ooh, I can be right up on the hill. Nice. I like that. Okay, so I'm probably going to give an overlook on the hill. Let's rotate this one around. Be that jerk who like builds their house up on the hill. Okay, and I think I'm going to leave this back part here just in case we need stuff. So let's throw a door. I'm just going to be as simple as you please, other than being cheap on supplies. Let's give it a... I can move the door later, so let's go with the large manor entrance. Yeah, let's put it on the edge. And if I put it out in the red, neither of them will have the qualifying pieces, so you can see its little white dot on the edge there needs to connect to one of the circles on this thing. Just going on the corner means they would turn green because they're attached, but they're not actually functional till we click them onto appropriate places. So I'm going to put that one on, and it says I need to have one of these little arrows that says where everybody has to wait. So you know what? You're going to be a... For now, I'm going to let you come in the building, but you're going to have to wait in the front hall. Sure. So these arrows, you can stack them wherever. And you can actually put them in the building or outside the building. For now, you can just wait in the front hall. And you can point whatever direction you please. I really don't care. Let's go like this. Just good. Now, this is one of those ones where if I was to double click and take the building, like that, it may take the whole thing. But I think we're good. We've got 3 check marks. Let's see. Maintenance cost, we can handle plus 10. No problem. No problem. So I'm just going to hit build on this one. You know what's going to happen. So we'll just use that as our raid out. Build. There we go. All right. So while that does its little thing, I'm just going to set that there to say thank you, everybody, for coming by. This was an absolutely fantastic time to chat with people and go through something I don't normally do, although I did talk myself through a lot. Once we stop having all these pop-up boxes, hopefully we'll be able to have a bit better conversation. In the meantime, I want to say thanks to everyone who came by. I hope you enjoyed the double header of Fantastic Sherlock Fox and myself. At some point, we may eventually be able to figure out how to collab on something, but not at the moment. So we'll see how it goes. You're very, very welcome, Dorky Quest. Thank you very much for coming by. And let's join CK Grapes, and I will give her all the apologies in the world for sending people over late. So let's get that raid rocking. In the meantime, I'm going to pull a fox and throw this one up. And we shall... Where's the Grapes button? There we go. Looks like Grapes is playing... CK Grapes is playing bingo.
Stiff managed.
I don't think I've ever called her Grapes before like that. That's just rude. All right, so there's your thing. Yeah, there's your thing. There's your screen. We're going to head on over to CK Grapes. I will see you on the flip side. Next day I'm up is Monday for Lego. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your patron stream weekend. Until I see you next, bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.